But I will say though, you know the name Joel Klatt
Yeah,
from Big Noon Kickoff.
yeah.
Well, he believes that if Alabama loses to Tennessee this season, that Bama fans are going to get real impatient with him. He believes that the coaching staff could be immense pressure if Alabama doesn't beat Tennessee. That could get a little uncomfortable for Kalen DeBoer when you look at that schedule. Tennessee at home, October 18th. That's the moment on the schedule. He went on to great detail about the upcoming meeting with the Tennessee Volunteers and the possible ramifications it could have on the Tide's upcoming season if they were to fall tough in a schedule that is more backloaded. Obviously, you got Georgia. So let's just say if you're losing Tennessee, you probably lost Georgia. So that'd be your second loss SC. Then you still have to go to South Carolina, then host LSU. Well, listen now. If you were just to lose Tennessee, who doesn't have Nico Lamaliva, and now you're about to go play Lenore Sanders, Garrett Nussmeier, I think South Carolina, LSU are both better teams than Tennessee. John Mater is better than any option Tennessee has at quarterback. You still have to play Oklahoma. You still have the Iron Bowl. So think about that for a moment. Let's just throw that out there. Like, let's say you lose a close one to Georgia, but then lose a home game Tennessee. Now all of a sudden you likely have to run table in order to finish like a 9-3 finish. And we saw what 9-3 did last year, even in the SEC. We thought for a lot of years in a 12-team playoff that a 9-3 team would go to the playoff. And guess what? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So the pressure would go through the rough for Kalen DeBoer. But that spot, that Tennessee game at home, he's got to win that game. I'm going to be honest. It really matters if you make it to the playoffs. Because, I mean, like, it's going to bite us if we're losing to Tennessee Auburn. But, I mean, I don't see that happening. But, I mean, like 2017.
Well, you can flip the script because I'm going to predict Alabama is going to beat Oklahoma, and I'm going to predict Alabama is going to beat Vandy.
Well, obviously,
so
we'll beat Vandy.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that. And I understand kind of, yeah, Alabama doesn't like to lose Tennessee. Don't like to lose anybody. Crap. But in what he's saying in the schedule, Alabama's toughest games are going to be Georgia. That one's going to be tough because we're going to have to go to Georgia. And if I'm looking at it, they better pay attention to South Carolina.
Definitely. Well, I mean, as long as Georgia
I'm going to profile him.
As long as Georgia has Mike Bobo as offensive coordinator, I don't like Georgia's chances of beating us. I'm just like South Carolina and Auburn. Those are the games that worry me the most, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so does Zachary. Like, it's same with Zachary Wilges. And as they say, great minds think alike.
There you go.
So you and I are very similar. Like, because this guy, Zachary, like, if you heard him on Thursday night when Coach Smick was subbing in for Jeffrey, Coach, like, you'll hear, like, Zachary where he talked a little bit about South Carolina, Auburn being the ones that could bite us. And I couldn't agree more. Because, like, Auburn at Jordan-Hare, we have not won by double digits against Auburn since 2015. Like, Gravity Falls was at part 2 of Weird Mageddon at that time. We didn't have Tit Talk at that time. The Tennessee Volunteers were mid. They were mid in 2015. That's Jeffrey's favorite word, by the way. But then you got the South Carolina Gamecocks. We almost blew it last year. We almost blew it. Like, oh, man. Thank God we won that game. But I got to tell you, we may not get so lucky against South Carolina if we're having some of the same stuff we had last year against them. I mean, South Carolina was just like forming themselves a little bit. That was like the last loss before their bowl game.
Hmm.
And I would not be surprised if I see South Carolina finishing in the top 4 this season in the SEC.
Yeah.
And if you're a top 4 team in the Big Ten or the SEC, you're automatically in the playoffs. I mean, Lenore Sanders and those guys in Columbia, they'll give us a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. And got to pay attention to it. It's a little asterisk on the little schedule right there.
Oh, yeah. And he also says Georgia's not going to be difficult for us because they don't have an elite quarterback. They don't have what it takes to get us this year. Oh, I mean, they were in a close game last season, like every week. Like, it was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like, this year, I'll go as far as to say that I think Florida and Georgia Tech could end that losing streak to Georgia. I think both of them could. Auburn's going to give him a dog.
That's all. That's you said that. We got this on video. Okay. Georgia Tech.
I think Georgia Tech can pull off that upset this year. I mean,
I'll tell you what, if that happens, you need to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost did it last year. I mean, Brent Key's going to have his boys ready this season. That, like, Georgia Tech is my surprise team from the ACC this year. I mean, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs this year, but they'll get damn near close to it. I promise you.
I hear you, man.
I mean, and by the time he's got all his guys there, all his guys, not all those Paul Johnson boys, not Paul Johnson, Jeff Collin boys.
Yeah.
He's got all his guys there. Those Georgia Tech boys. I think by the time conference realignment picks back up, you're going to see them knocking on the door to come back in the SEC. And we'll be like, the SEC will go, come on in. But, yeah, but like the Tennessee game, if Alabama does lose to Tennessee, I can see where fans get rowdy a little bit. I mean, as well as they should be. As well as they should be. Because, I mean, like, we saw, like, Ohio State.
Well, I mean, it just means they've taken over the rivalry. And we went through the Philip Fulmer years and stuff like that, and the angst and all that kind of stuff. And, you work so hard to overcome, those type of droughts. And it would just seem like it was starting again. It's like, oh, no, here we go again. Just one of those deals. So I agree with you. I'm gonna have to take a look and do a little more in-depth little look at depth charts and what's going on with regard to that. But I agree with you. It would be not sit well with Alabama fans to let that. We worked so hard and suffered so much. And I know Tennessee suffered. I don't care about Tennessee, but I'm talking about Alabama. I remember those years and everything. And to get it to where we were is, what we kind of not been real whatever the last 3, 4, 5 years, but just got to get back to where we feel comfortable. That in control of that rivalry. You just don't want to be behind in a rivalry, and you don't want to go through the Tuberville fear the thumb and all that kind of stuff. We've done those ugly. I mean, Alabama was in purgatory for a long time. Use that word again, but you just don't. You just somebody like me that experienced it. I mean, and you experience. You don't want to go back through it because it's hard to dig out because if it happens, then DeBoer's going to be on the hot seat now. Everything just spirals from that, and then we got to go through Mike DeBoer and Mike Price and Shula, Mike Shula, and all that kind of blah, blah, blah. So just don't want to do it again. You'd feel like we're headed back to the wrong place. We've worked so hard and been so successful digging out of. We don't want to go back to that scenario.
Well, and I will say this though, I don't think it's going to be Tennessee dominating that rivalry, but I don't think it's Bama dominating. I think it's just going to be like A B pattern, B A B B. Like, because I mean, with what Josh Heupel's doing at Tennessee, oh, he's putting a scare into us. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But I could say I like him a lot more, way more than Phil Former. I'm never gonna like Phil Former. Sorry.
Yeah, he rubbed everybody the wrong way, especially in Alabama.
Well, he's a snitch. That's the
Are you
thing.
going to vote for Tuberville when he runs for governor?
Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon to make a decision.